Hi, this is Shui with a review of the Giannis Freak 8. The 7 was a bit bland. They had Cushlon and there's some heel compression and nothing much in the forefoot. This one uses the React X foam inside the carrier. If you experience React X in the Witness 9s, it's different from that. It's a lot more subdued in terms of the fluffiness, the comfort, step-in comfort. It's not as pronounced as the Witness 9 uh, React X. This is more, I suppose, harder, rigid, greater density. Maybe if you call it greater rebound, you could call it that. But I don't really see a great merit in this shoe in terms of having React X in it. It feels like in between GT Cut 3 and GT Cut 3 Turbo, a little bit between. If you first put on this shoe and you feel like it's very plush and comfortable, it's mainly the insole is really plush and thick and nice. So the insole and the strobe board is pretty thick too. The strobe board and the insole is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and that stuff is gonna compress. And React X, based on your experience with Witness 9, they do compress too. So don't expect that straight out of the box sensation to last a long time. There's not a great heel to toe offset, but there is a definite offset because on the forefoot you feel like there's really nothing much there. Heel, it's got good compression and good shock absorption. Size 9.5, weighs about 405 grams. It does not feel heavy, it does not feel crazy light. It's kind of an in-betweener. The fused materials are back for the first time in a long while. Like, it's been like 10 years, right? I like these iridescent hologram kind of materials used on some parts. That's a nice design. Overall, I think the design, it feels like a blooming lotus flower kind of yeah, Buddha's birthday decoration ornamental thing going on there. And I think this is a good design. Interestingly, it's the right color for Miami Heat. Heel slip, it's got quite a bit of heel slip. So try this on, see if it's a good fit for you. But I think most people will feel that heel slippage. Padding is nice all around. There's good breathability on the tongue area. Unfortunately, it's not a low top, it's not a high top, it's like a mid-low tweener. And unfortunately, these parts, I think some people might feel some irritation because they're not below your ankle or above it. So you might feel some irritation if you lace up and your foot shape does not complement the shoe very well. Another problem is that the fused materials, the edges are very sharp. So once these paddings kind of wear off, you're gonna have to put something on top of it. Otherwise, you will be, you'll be feeling the sharp edge of the backdated fused materials. Unfortunate uh, negative aspects. It doesn't have an outrigger, but the lateral side is kind of beefy with the foam, so it does not break immediately once you are kind of tripping or on the verge of breaking your ankle. In terms of the anti-rollover prevention gimmick, the foam is there to kind of soften or slow down the roll, but there is no hard stoppage there. It's not too bad. It's decent. But the foam carrier, I think this could be less. So why are there so much foam around? It just adds more weight. Just give us the React X, more React X, because it's got substantially less zoom React X. The React X is a lot more dense than the Witness 9s. Traction fit wise, I would say some people might want to go half a size up because it's kind of narrow as you go forward on the lateral and the medial side, and there's a bit of a dead space on top of the toe box area. So you need to really gauge what size or what you want to give up. Dead space or tight fit, a little wiggle room, or something that's gonna warp your toes. Yeah, it's not super narrow. It's not that forgivingly wide either. So definitely, I would say true to size might be a bit narrow, but if you go half a size up, you might feel there's some extra space. The outsole is pretty interesting. It's got that thunder radial pattern going on. If you talk about radial pattern, the Kawaii's 4s, was it 5? I can't remember. The pattern looks nice, but because of the radial pattern, you kind of start slipping when you move a certain direction. This, however, despite the circular motion, there are these jagged edges. So they're kind of like herringbone radial pattern. So the traction is pretty decent, and they do not fall prey to dust. They're pretty dust resistant. You don't get like a crazy hard multi-direction bite, but overall this is a pretty decent traction, not too dust sensitive. The cushioning, I've mentioned the React-X. That was the most shocking part. They say React-X, but it just feels like does not feel that much different from the Immortalities or the Cushionon 3.0 used in the previous version, except it does feel a little bit more bouncy. Still, it's pretty thin. But so it's a little different from the React-X used in Witness 9. Witness 9, super plush, but you can actually feel the plushness giving way too much, so that when you compress the shoe in certain parts and ways, you might actually feel the floor. This will not do that, but at the same time, it's not going to provide adequate overall comfort. So that's something you might want to lace up and try. Again, take into consideration that the insole and the Strobel board is doing some heavy lifting, and they will compress, they will bottom out, and so will the React-X based on the Witness 9 usage. The price point, Giannis keeps talking about keeping the shoe affordable. Well, Immortality might be a little bit more affordable, but this signature shoe is pretty, it's pretty up there in terms of the price range. Like Witness 9 is an affordable shoe. If you want to talk about keeping the price low, if you're not gonna act on that, just don't freaking even talk about it. Don't even mutter those words. It just disgusts me when players keep talking about that and they never deliver. And also, he doesn't seem very interested in his shoe. He doesn't know much about maybe he doesn't want to, but even if you go to his YouTube channel, all he talks about is how he's got his son's name and he thinks it's a beautiful shoe. But so what about the tech? That's what we want to know. We're paying good money for the shoe. We don't care about your nostalgia or those emotional parts. Yes, they're all nice. You're a very wonderful family man and all that, but we're about to pay money for the shoes, and these are about to be with us for some time. We don't get a different pair every second on the court like you do. So think about your fans and the consumers for a change. I mean, Nike could have done something to talk a little bit more about the shoe. They just say, oh, it's got a foam inside to support your Euro step. Shut the front door, man. You don't even get the details about what this React-X is different, how it's different from Witness 9s or whatever. I mean, based on how he just wore the Freak 2s forever, it just shows that Nike is not doing much to please him, or Giannis isn't making a lot of demands, or if he wouldn't know a different pair of shoes on his foot if it bit him in the behind. I don't know. So from Zoom Freak 1 to 7 or 8 years apart, not much of an evolution. This feels pretty much similar to that, except that one actually a double stack zoom in on the heel and had a pretty kick-ass design. This is not too bad either, but not a huge evolution.